Go.
Hey, Talking with Words with Rob,
And Ryan.
and we had the pleasure of getting an advance copy of Jason Pargin. We're going to go with Pargin. We've searched the internet. Pargin. We're going to go with Pargin. His new book, Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia, is out now. And it is the third in the Zoey series. You probably have heard the name from the podcast.
Yeah, we brought him up a time or seven.
About 90% of the time. One of my favorite movies of late is John Dies at the End, which is his novel, his first novel. Jason went by Wong for quite a while, and he did the John Dies at the End series, which is now four books. I'm missing one. Someone's borrowing it. And
trying to get somebody else hooked.
There he's hooked. And if you have not read anything he's written, do yourself a favor. If you listen to anything on our podcast, anything we do, you're going to love this shit. I got him onto it. 8 months ago, a year ago.
A little more than a year ago. Well, our first attempted podcast was the John Dies at the End movie.
Yes.
And that one didn't go so well, but we redid it, and it went swimmingly.
When you drink a whole lot before a podcast, you get podcasts like, well, you know, if you listen. He has a knack for some of the best descriptions I've ever read in books. And just a quick rundown of his work. He was the editor of Cracked.com for a long time. He has now 7 books out. He is working on his 8th, I believe, he has posted. The John Dies at the End series is one of my new favorites, just across the board. It's horror, it's dumb,
sci-fi, comedy, ridiculousness.
Yeah, and it's not like this retired military veteran. It's these just dipshits that fall into these situations, and that's what makes it so great. And in both of the series, the Zoey and the John series, Pargin dives into depression, anxiety, like all of the...
You get a little bit of everything.
The mainstays of just psychological shit we have to deal with every day, and he does it very, very well. You can tell the man's hurting. Call me. We can talk. But this one, the first Zoey book is fucking amazing. That is not a bash on any other ones, but you have...
He knocked it out of the park with the first one.
Man,
the first one was awesome.
It's so good. It's
almost as good as John Dies at the End.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat John Dies at the End. What are you doing? You starting another series after you have John? You eclectic fuck. I love you, Jason. Now, the Zoey series is based around a character, Zoey Ashe, who her estranged father dies, who's a billionaire, and he has essentially started a city, like a new Vegas, in the desert, and she inherits everything. You've heard this story before, but the kicker on this one is he's pretty much a crime lord.
He's a crime boss of sorts. He has his hand in everything in the city.
I'm just kidding.
Don't do that again.
So one of the morality things of the Zoey books is you have this girl that is from a trailer park. She has nothing.
She's a barista, lives with her mom and her cat.
Right.
And gets thrust into this craziness.
Thrust. All right.
Oh yeah.
And there's that. The first book does a good job in the first act of, okay, you inherit a criminal empire.
And $30 billion.
And $30 billion. Do you try and do good with it? Do you walk away from it? What do you do? And he does a great job of her trying to justify how to fix things. And imagine if you and I inherit a criminal empire. and it's thousands upon thousands of people that work for you, and you say, "Oh, I don't like that one business. That's corrupt. We'll close it down." Well, you just put
2,000 people out of business and all this other stuff, and
right.
She goes through and tries to kind of come to terms with being a slumlord and owning hewers, and security companies that are more powerful than the cops, and
it's just
27 other businesses, and being the most kidnappable person in the world at that point.
Yeah.
Which forces her to not be she's got to stick with it. There's nowhere she can go from it being, the most... Yeah. That first chapter or two, she becomes the most recognizable face in Tabula Rasa.
It's like if you go to a lawyer and they're like, "Hey, we have something for you from your estranged relative," and they just dunk you in a dunk tank full of shit and cash. That's Zoe's life now.
Sold.
And she has the suits, which are her...
Basically her entourage.
Yeah, I mean, and they are... When you read these books, she usually is the one sticking her hand in the blender. And Will, Andre, Bud, all these guys are just saving her fingertips. And it's this behind the scenes manipulation, all this shit going on throughout this new city, Tabula Rasa.
There
we go. Clean slate. And the third book is fantastic. The second one built the world up a little bit more, and then wanted to kind of show her adapting to, I think,
her getting used to dealing with the money and basically all the bullshit that goes along with being a billionaire.
What her role is in that,
and owning a criminal enterprise.
Third book, you're now at Dark Knight Rises. Like, she understands it. Doesn't mean she's smarter. She's still a dumb shit, but she understands her part in it a little bit better. And the way he crafts the world, I have never read a book where within 1 to 5 chapters he has an idea that I've never heard of before. Like the pirate ship fucking thing. I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to ruin the book if you haven't read it yet. But he just keeps bringing out these massive things.
Yeah, usually we preface with spoilers, but being that the book's only been out a few days now.
Yeah.
Don't want to give any spoilers away. Read it, enjoy it.
Absolutely. And if you... Just a taste of what the city is like, the dome in Vegas with the... It's got you've seen it with the eye, with the basketball. That's the entire city.
That's every building window.
There's no escaping it. And Pargin's really good about just addressing that anxiety of that shit coming at you constantly.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't want to get too much into the book.
He's one of the most vivid writers that I've read in the last several years, and we've read some good ones over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. He definitely inspired some of my characters in my latest books. He's prolific in his descriptions, and just throws them out there like nothing, and it's amazing. If you have not read any of his work, David Wong is how he went, his pseudonym for the John books originally. He has switched over to his real name now. I don't want to get too much more into it. Go read the Zoey books. Go read the John book. John book's a little more horror, sci-fi. Also way more graphic with his descriptions.
Some of the greatest descriptions I've ever read in a book.
My favorite one, without giving anything away, is...
I already know where we're going here.
Yes, you do. They open something, and the description is this smell or feeling oozed out of it, and it was like coming across a refrigerator that has been out for a week, and you open the door to that waft, and it's horrible, and it's soiled, and then you open the crisper drawer, and there's a Polaroid of your mom getting fucked by a Dalmatian. That will never not make me laugh. Mom, I'm sorry. Jason did it. Anyway, this is definitely... I wanted to say must read, but we're not to that point yet, are we? We're just read this. It's
definitely where you will not regret reading any of these books.
It is out now on hardcover. I'm sure it'll be back in 9 months, a year on paperback.
You can get it on Audible too.
Audible. I'm listening to it on the second time on Audible, yep. And
I'm on listen number 2 right now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So again, Jason, thank you for giving us the opportunity to read it early.
Yes, thank you.
We are slopping that shit up like dessert at your mama's house. What? That's probably good. Thanks for
watching. Thanks for listening.
It just goes so downhill so quick. Thanks for checking it out. If you have not read, check out Jason's books. David Wong, if it's still the older stuff. I think did he switch his older?
I re-listened to the latest one on Audible the other day, and it's got David Wong / Jason Pargin.
Okay, so
he goes by both, and he talks about that for a little second, or whoever he's got narrating.
Right.
I apologize.
It's delightful, and if you haven't, his big claim to fame was the movie John Dies at the End.
Go watch that too. It's amazing.
Fucking treat. If you don't know the guy that directed Phantasm, Don Cascarelli, he did it. Oh. James, you want to say hi from back there?
Hi.
There's James. All right, that's drug on long enough. Thanks for checking this out. Go read these books. You will not regret it.